Welcome to Zhang Fu Gong. This is the first lesson, the first module, and I welcome all of you from everywhere. I myself am in Puerto Rico, and I have to say as I look out the window that it's beautiful sunny skies and nice puffy clouds, and so I'm very blessed. I hope wherever you are that you are also. I know that a lot of us, including myself, are in lockdown right now with this coronavirus. And so that's very serious business, and we need to learn to take care. I think one of the greatest lessons I learned very recently was from a family of horses. It was the mother and father and the baby horse. And they had been penned together in a pasture near our property. And what was so interesting was that they all wanted to escape. And the mother had found a way to leave with the baby, but the father was extremely upset. He was a very big, strong stallion and wasn't able to depart. And he couldn't figure it out. He was rearing his legs and his hoofs were up, and he would run up against almost to the fence and then stop right there. And it wasn't going anywhere. He couldn't get across. He didn't know how to jump across the fence, over the fence, and neither did he understand how to go between the two wires. And so the mother horse, or his partner, the mother of his baby foal, had actually showed him a number of times how to do this. And what she had done was she placed one hoof on the bottom wire and then the other one, and she stuck her head in between and was able to walk through. The baby had also followed suit and done the same. It was really interesting to see their interaction. And she was so composed and quiet about how she did her practice, you could say. That was her Qigong practice. So after a time, because he was so upset, he couldn't get his energy balanced to understand what she had done to get across and onto the road, finally he understood. She showed him again. It was like a game, horse tails. And so he finally was able to cross and go with her for a walk in the neighborhood. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see some of the photos. And so I thought that was a really good lesson for all of us. What happens when we're constrained or limited or restricted to the space that we have? Even though we had a nice pasture, it was the idea of freedom. The idea of losing freedom when you have the capacity to move and to roam and to be free. And we, in the West especially, take our freedoms for granted. There's always this feeling of, oh, it's here. This is the Wild West that we don't need to tame ourselves. And what we have learned from watching this horse family, what I learned from watching this horse family, and which I also hope you will as well, is that she slowed down and she became what we call the lead energy. The lead energy is stable and yet strong and yet resilient. So all those qualities, the quiet calm, the observation of the perimeters outside, but also watching what's happening in yourself, in your body, your emotions that might come bubbling up from this feeling of restriction, the forgetting of all your potential, forgetting that, in fact, if you did slow down and start observing yourself inside and feeling gratitude, this is a very important aspect of understanding ourselves, because when we are in gratitude and we actually write it down or feel it and do it as a practice 3 times a day for 4 days, Don't know why that was the magic number in the research studies. But after they did that for 4 days, their immunoglobulin A, which is very instrumental in boosting the immune cells in the body, started to increase by 50%. Not 15, 50, 50. And I found that such profound information, because that simple shift of the mind, of understanding, of self-awareness, of going into quiet, whether you're in an open paddock with lots of land and grass to feed on, like the horses, or whether you were confined to a smaller space with other horses, with your family of horses, with your own human family. And so it is a reminder to all of us to go into the quiet spaces inside. If you don't have the physical freedom, you can imagine how people must feel when they're in jail, right? And why that restricting of freedom is such a punishment. And yet, how do the people who survive confinement survive, and not only survive, but thrive, right? So really consider that. It's the state of mind. It's the state of their emotions, right? Their character is sometimes defined by their alignment. If you are feeling overwhelmed, a lot of times your shoulders will shrink down, the head will bow, and there will be this constriction and compression of all the internal organs, right? But when you're in what I call vertical alignment, you are connected to the earth through your feet. And just for now, since we're all sitting, place your left hand on your belly and place your right hand at your chest, over the sternum, in the center of the middle dantian. So we're connecting both the lower dantian, which gives you substantiveness, and we're connecting to the heart energy, where the emotions might be sometimes high. Okay? And simply by breathing slower, you can exhale first. Just even do it out through the breath. In through the nose, filling up the chest. And exhale. The tip of the tongue touches the upper front palate. Even on the exhale, and this is a way to regulate the breath. And inhale. Fill the chest, but fill the lower dantian, where your bottom hand is. You would pause for just a moment, so it's based on your own breath when you're at home, doing it on your own. Long, slow, smooth exhale. You can close your eyes. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Tip of the tongue to the upper front palate. Inhale, see if you can put the breath in the belly first before you expand your chest. Pause at the top, and then long, slow, gentle exhale. 2 more times. Slow, gentle inhale, belly, then it spreads to the lungs. Top of the lungs, gentle hold, then slow, gentle exhale. And 1 more time. Inhale. Expands the abdomen, then the lungs. And exhale, release. Now, just place your hands on your lap. And just feel your body. Any tingling sensations, if they have reached your palms because of this deep breathing. Oftentimes you'll feel more activity, chi circulation, to the extremities of the body, including the hands. Some people feel it in their feet or legs, but a lot of times you initially feel it through your hands first. Okay, so that's the beginning. That's how we start. Yeah, and it's just the slowing down of the breath. What happens when you slow your breath down is the mind has a chance to think more clearly. Yeah, you're not racing, you're not, confined, you're not out there, you're not everywhere, you're inside your body. And just noticing, taking the time to notice what you're feeling. Feeling the shoulders roll down and settle. Right? So all of these functions. Is there warmth in the palms? Is the body vertical? And when you're in a seated position, the spine is as vertical as comfortable. So if you have scoliosis, for instance, you wouldn't try to over straighten. You would just straighten to the best of your body's ability. And so a good reminder for all of us is that in these practices to follow, you're always listening and paying attention to your body, feeling what is comfortable for you. So especially in this first lesson, I don't want you to overextend and push past your limits. This is not an aerobics competition. We're not competing with anyone. We're just observing and tuning into ourselves and ourselves. Yeah, and you start to feel more as you practice Qigong. And so it's not only the organs, just like this horse couple, we're operating as a team, as a pair. The Zangfu, which are the Zang is the yin organs, like the heart, the liver, the spleen, right? The kidneys, and what did I miss? The yin organs and the yang organs. The yang organs, include the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, right? The gallbladder channel, and the small and large intestines, and the bladder. So when they come together as a pair and work efficiently to support each other, the function and their interdependence, their interplay is what we're concerned with. We're not looking just at the physical anatomy, we're actually looking at the pairs. And I'll send you notes about that later. Okay, so it's how to optimize function so that we can improve the elasticity of the skin, which is your protective barrier against a lot of pathogens that could come in. So the smoothing out of this field, the optimization of the organ function, and the smoothing out of the field outside the body, we call this the Wei Qi field, or the protective or guardian Qi that emanates outside the body. Some, if you've studied other systems, you might call it the auric field. In Chinese, we call it the Wei Qi field. And so these fields have almost like a density to them. And in the same way, in fact, that the horses have a density, if you were to go closer to the horses, there's a point where you have to stop, because if you're paying attention, they'll let you in and you can proceed further. Or if they feel a sense of danger, they'll stop you. And they'll either buck or turn away, or there's an energetic, physical demonstration of what they're tuning into in you. So if there's something that's not comfortable or you're out of sorts, they don't want that around them. And we are the same with ourselves, with others, with other people as well. So the key here is be observant of what's around you, but ultimately you have to go inside. and look at the emotions that rise up, the discomfort sometimes, or even pain that comes up. We never, in Qigong, we don't push into pain. We observe it, we acknowledge it, and then we gently move through it. So it's a very different approach. It's not a no pain, no gain. In our system, we say pain, no gain. We meet it, we meet the pain like a friend. Okay, so that meeting of what is present here and now, and seeing it with gratitude, being grateful that it's showing you something that you need to learn about within yourself. Is it emotional pain? Is it physical pain? So sometimes emotional pain can result in physical manifestation. And so when we breathe into it, the most basic, simple thing you can do is to slow down the breath, improve the respiration. And it doesn't mean that you try, because sometimes when the lungs are too heavy, with sadness, for instance, or grief, it's hard to breathe with that big breath. So just do it gently. Respect your own boundaries and limitations for this time. Okay? So that breathing is the first point that needs to be taken into your awareness. Yeah. The second aspect of centering and placing your hands on the heart center and the lower dantian also helps to calm the body. In fact, placing your hands over the middle dantian, this is an emotional release point over the thymus. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, one of the quickest things you can do physically is to place the hands over the thymus, over the emotional release point. And you'll feel your heart, and you'll feel the rise and fall of your chest. And the opportunity is to bring it into a slower rhythm so that you can receive the calm that is in the spaces in between. Yeah, sometimes it's not present in the field immediately, but it is in the spaces in between. We can choose where we go with our mind. And sometimes that's hard to believe when your mind is racing or the emotions, push up and flood the cortisol, stress hormones flood the body, and you have nowhere to go. So when that is the situation, as it is for many people around the world at this time, slow down. Find your alignment. Yeah. Bring calm back to the body. Okay, so that's how we do it. And when we're seated and when we are limited in terms of our physical parameters. Now, I'm going to step back. I'm going to do a warm-up routine with you, starting with standing vertical alignment, and then we'll do shaking and lymph pumping, massage, and very gentle kind of tossing movement. And then I'll go into Zangfu Gong after that. So we're going to have a little bit of a warm-up first, just to get you in your body and comfortable with movement. Okay, so I'm going to step back. And okay, I'll just stay here for now so you can see my hands, right? The fingers are just gently relaxing, shaking out. Yeah, we're always on our computers nowadays because we're all at home. And so notice I'm not throwing anything down. I'm just shaking out the fingertips. Yeah, very lightly, gently. Yeah, releasing. Allow the gravity of the earth to draw the energy downwards. So any stagnation that might be released from the joints goes into the earth to be recycled at the earth's core. Okay, so first it's down. We allow the earth to support us at the down position. Then we go up to about chest height. Yeah, and always to your comfort level. So if this is too high, remember to drop the shoulders. Shake out the fingers at this level, even further out. Feel the weight of your arms. It won't stay there too long because it can actually feel a little heavy, but now bring it up to shoulder, above the head, if your arms allow that, if your arms and shoulders. Up and down to the sides, shoulders down. And now in front and to the back. Okay. Now, in tandem with this is this lymph pumping. Now, what is very important about this is that I'm going to slow my hands down so we can stay focused on the legs. What is important about this is that I want your perineum, we call this in Chinese, we call it the hui yin. We're gently doing a gentle upward squeeze with the perineum. Not so hard that you're clenching, okay? That's very important to know. It's just a very gentle cradling inside. Your butt cheeks tighten a little bit, okay? And it's the point between the anus and, for women, the vagina in between, and the scrotum for men. Okay, so feel that gentle holding. Yeah? Feel. And now here's what we're doing. We start to engage the hands and fingers, but now this is what's happening with the feet. The feet, the balls of the feet and the toes are on the earth, but we're just pumping. We're lifting the heels, not throwing down. That's not what we do, especially if you have any sensitivities with the lower dantian area. So if there's issues with leakage for some women or men, then that gentle holding will actually strengthen the pelvic floor, but also you'll be pumping the lymph. So instead of using a rebounder, we're just pumping. I'll just show you the feet. Notice that I'm not thumping, so you don't hear any sound. I'm just engaging and stimulating the balls of the feet and the toes. Very gently, the heels. Yeah? So it's just like so, just very gently. And slowly. Let it just dangle. The arms are like loose coat sleeves, and just relax down in time with the feet, the heels pumping up. Okay, I'm not going to do this too long because if your knees are not strong, then you might feel stress on the knees, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, we slow everything down until we come to stillness. Heart might be moving energy right now, so I'm going to show you the next warm-up exercise, which is a striking technique. And I'm going to come in a little closer so you see. One hand, the right hand will come to the left part of the chest. The back hand, and this is a little tricky for me because I have a microphone, will go to the opposite kidney. Okay? So I'm going to do it without doing the twist yet. I'm just going to show you strike here, just at the lung level, just the lung 2, and the acupressure meridian point. Okay, strike, arms come around, strike with a cupped hand. Yeah, cupped, strike. Okay, and so if you're doing it gently, you would also be able to twist your feet. So I'm going to show this with the feet also. Strike, strike. And you're going to lift up the opposite heel. Come around, lift up the opposite heel. Okay, so I just want to share that with you first. And now we'll do it for real. Exhale. 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 Inhale, coming around. Exhale, out. So you can use that ha sound to release blocked energy in the heart, as well as stimulating the lungs. Yeah? Tap, cup, yeah? Exhale on the strike. And it doesn't need to be hard. It needs to make contact, though. It is a gentle strike. It also helps to break up mucus in the lungs. Okay, very important for this time. You can look back if you have the right twist when you lift up the back heel. And this helps in the rotation. Okay, let's come back to center. I'm going to show you the next one that helps the gallbladder channel. This one, instead of here, you're going to have one hand over the shoulder, the other hand to the opposite kidney. Okay, and opposite side as well. So it's over, and it's like loose coat sleeves, you could say, ragdoll tossing. We're just very relaxed. Remember to pick up the back heel and strike. The hands will naturally strike your body's pressure points. Look back, look back. Each time you strike, look back. You have any tension that's been built up? You can use a bigger ha. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, just a few. And then go back to the breath. Okay. And then slow everything down. Bring the hands down. The body will still twist and turn just a little bit with the natural rotation. And feel. Feel where your breath is. You might have gotten a little more energy so that the breath is a little deeper, and that's also good. Just release energy from the lungs. Okay, so feel and just take the time. Close your eyes as you're standing. Do you feel your heart beating? Okay, slow the breath down. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale down. Tip of the tongue to the upper front palate. Inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhale. One more breath. Inhale deeply and yet gently. Fill the whole body with breath. And exhale. Okay, check in with yourself and see how you're feeling. See if things feel active and yet calm. And so it's a combination of that balance of invigoration and regeneration, release of tensions in the body, hopefully. If not, do it longer. And sometimes doing it longer and slower is the key, just like the horse was teaching us. And just feel the calmness in the body as you settle the energy. The next part that I'm going to take you through is actually the Zhang Fu Gong set. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different than some of you who have learned from me before have seen. And it's in particular to try and support us through this time in our history. Okay, so we're going to step back and I'm going to go into vertical alignment. Okay, your feet can be hip width apart, comfortable for you. And that's the key, is you're standing upright and everything from the lower body, from the lower abdomen down, sinks into the earth as if the earth is receiving you with her nurturing energy. Okay, and so allow that energy to move through. Visualize the energy from the belly button separating at the legs and going down through the trunks of the legs, out through all the branches of the toes that touch the earth. So they ground and root you to the earth. And then in your mind's eye, open up the kidney point. They call it kidney 1 or a yang chuan point between the two balls of the feet. And see the cobalt blue light of the earth rising up through the trunks of the legs, filling the lower dantian with light. Yeah, whole circumference, a hoop of light around the lower body. Continuing up through the organs, sifting and rising the energy into the middle dantian and opening the heart in your mind's eye. I'm just using my hands to show you that circle of light around the body. Continue sifting upwards, drifting upwards. The chi lights up the face, comes out through the Bai Hui point at the top of the head, and goes out through this roof, out to a star in the sky. We call this your soul star. And it represents your highest self. From the light of that star high in the sky, shower the light down and around the body in this kind of upside down heart pattern, right? It comes out through the arms and into this diamond of light at the dantian. So this, what we just did, is called vertical alignment. Yeah, vertically aligned with both heaven and earth. The earth supports us. The sky or the cosmos brings enlightenment and what we call universal healing energy from above, nurturing energy from below. And at the center of the body is this diamond of light. And we expand this light. Yeah, we open this light. The palms face each other. So maybe I'll move closer in so you can see. The palms face each other, and we're just going to regulate the breath using movement now. So moving from the shoulders first, then the elbows move apart. It's like a big chi bubble, a big energy bubble. And keep the shoulders down. We don't need to go all the way up. And for now, just the movement of the hands. Okay? And the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Shoulders down. Exhale. Now You might want to engage the legs. So now I'll show you as you progress how to also engage the legs. So sink with the hands. Inhale. Rise, but not on your toes. You're just rising the knees and the waist. Exhale, just gently sink in the knees. Relax the knees, no pressing into the kneecaps. Inhale and exhale. Regulate the breath. Inhale using movement. Synchronize the movement with your breath. When we're together, we'll do it in time to my breath. At home, you do it to your own breath. I'll try to go somewhere in between. So those who have a long breath or short breath can hopefully keep up. Inhale and open. Fill the whole body with breath. Exhale and close. Just one more. Inhale and exhale. Diamond of light. Meridian cleansing and clearing. And what we're going to do at the very beginning to acknowledge this center is crisscross the palms one over the other. We're starting now a little higher up at the belly button where a lot of lymph glands are, and we're going to circle. So it'll be up the right side, down the left. This is to clear and support elimination. Inhale up, exhale down the second half. So if we're at 6 o'clock, inhale up to 12 and back down to the left side to 6. Okay? In and out. I'm not going to count in this one. Normally it's 9 circles. And what we'll do is, as we get used to the small circles around the belly button, then we're going to come into slightly bigger circles each time. Yeah, until you get to about the 9th circle. And then you're going to get smaller and smaller. Just feel. Come back to the center of the belly button. Drop down to the lower dantian, which is a hand's width below the belly. Okay, and just feel for a moment. Feel your stability. Feel your alignment. From there, the right hand rises. Keep the left hand on the bottom. Rise the right hand to the middle dantian and rub the thymus gland. A slow, gentle circle, soothing and bringing comfort to the emotional center of the body, across the lungs. Now, place your hand up. We're going to sweep down the yin channel, release. Turn the palm down and pull in energy back over the shoulders, back into the heart center. Extend this hand. Brush off, clear, and bring in. New energy comes in and cross your heart again. Let's do that again. So after massaging the center, we're going to go to the lungs. Hands up, release. Turn. Left hand turns, bring energy up. And we can go slightly up to help the lymph move. Both hands come to the center of the chest. Extend and unroll the hand, release. And as you rise up, it can angle upwards to help the lymph move over the shoulder, back into the center of the chest. Okay? From here, part the hands right on top of the lungs. Warm the lungs. From the top of the lungs to the sides of the body and the sides. Warm the kidneys. You can move your hips, relaxed hips. Allow the joint to move, but keep the shoulders down. Yeah, these are very gentle hip circles. About 9. And now glide down the back, over the butt, back of the legs, all the way down. Bend the knees, sweep down into the earth. Come up. Now I want you to massage your ankles if you can. Reach. Come up the yin channel, massage the knees. Warm the knees because the knees are connected to the kidneys. That's how you remember. And keep them strong for the vital qi in the body, in the jing qi, what we call the jing qi that we're born with. And now massage around the abdomen. You can do both directions. Into the groin. And you form that diamond of light again. And we repeat. Okay? Stabilize with your left hand on the lower dantian. Rise up to the middle dantian. Massage at the middle dantian. At least 3 circles across the lungs. Extend your hand. Release. Turn. Energy comes in. You can raise it up. Come into the center. Cross your heart. Unroll. Reveal your hand. Show your hand. And now, coming up. I'll show a different angle slightly. Coming into the heart. From the heart, cross sides to the kidneys. Alternating hands. So if I'm doing this from behind, you can feel the hip joint just gently rocking side to side. And now warm the kidneys. Yeah, that helps to alleviate fear in the body. And then slowly glide down over the butt. I'll do the side version. Maybe it's easier. Bend the knees if you can't bend down. Across the toes. Massage the ankles. Come up. Massage the knees. Stable stance in the center. Come up. Reproductive center. And also into the groin. So you're helping the lymph to drain as well. Just gentle movements. It's barely on the surface. It's on the surface, so you're touching the skin, but it's not hard. And we'll do one more. Inhale. Regular breath, just rotate here. If you need more time, because the emotional center is peaking or overwhelmed, then just stay here and even slow the circles down. Soothe the body. Okay, from here to the lungs, extend the hand. release, turn, receive the nurturing chi of the earth. Stability comes into the emotional center. Extend the hand. Clear the hand. Release, turn. River of light comes into the body, and your hands are simply tracking this light through the body. Separate the hands to the sides of the breast and chest, rib cage, to the back. Keep the shoulders lowered. Massage the kidneys. Warm the kidneys. And now glide down the backs of the legs and the sides of the legs, just gently dropping down. You can bend the knees. I'm showing it with the knees bent around the knees, inside the thighs. Yeah, it's like a heart pattern in the lower dantian. Comforting the digestive system to help the function. Also coming in. Okay. Okay. Forming the diamond of light again. We'll finish with showering chi, okay, from this diamond of light. Open. Receive the nurturing energy of the earth. At the shoulder height, turn the thumbs back. The palms will follow and relax. Receiving the heavenly energy from above. And a circle of light above. We're going to feed this light down and through the central channel, sifting through the Wei Qi field outside the Zangfu, outside the yin-yang organs. Yeah? Sink and straighten. Inhale. Turn the thumbs back. Exhale. Completely. Fully. Inhale the whole sky. Hands over top. Exhale down. Sifting through the field from head to toes into the earth. We'll do one more. Sink and rise. Magnetizing, nurturing chi from the earth. Turn, mixing the nurturing chi of the earth with the healing, universal healing energy of the sky. Ball of light on top. Feed the balance of both directions through the whole body, sifting through the chi field, clearing the chi field, Wei Qi field, protecting your guardian chi or enhancing your guardian chi. We hold this ball of light. We bring it into this diamond of light at the dantian and fold the hands over the dantian. It's as if we're sealing in the light that we brought in from both directions into the body. Okay? And then at the end, we put the weight on the left leg, step in, float the arms down, and just feel. Okay. The question is your body at greater peace? Do you feel more balanced? We've shaken out some of the stagnation. We've released some of the tension that might be caught up in the joints and tissues of the body. And we recentered ourselves through that final movement. We always find a way to come back to center. Yeah. So that's the first initial part of this Zangfu Gong, just to get you started on this journey. We're coming up, around the corner of 4 o'clock on my time, in Puerto Rico time. And so I imagine that you have questions for me that I could help with. And so I'll have Lauren come back and direct the questions. Maybe we should all sit down now. Take a drink of water. I recommend actually something warm. Even if you're in the Caribbean like I am, it's good to have something that's warm because that really helps with circulation. Not only liquids in the body, that type of circulation, but also the qi circulation, and also supports the reducing of pathogens in the throat that could potentially get in through the mucous membranes into the lungs. Okay, so let's sit down and relax. Remember, always only at your own pace and ability, and just start tracking how this starts to feel in your body. And hopefully at this point you feel something, even in the first lesson. So Lauren, I'm not sure where Lauren is there.
Yeah. Beautiful. Great. We have a few questions already coming in. And this came in from Kim, and it says, does it matter if you are imperfect with your technique? It's hard to get all the breathing and movements coordinated.
Perfection is overrated, Ken. At the very beginning, especially, start to learn the physical movements first, and the breath will eventually coordinate. Yeah, so not to worry, because we also have very different breathing patterns individually. And so the main thing to do is to learn the physical part first. That's usually how Qigong is easier to learn that way. Follow the physical and then coordinate the breath. But Qigong essentially is the marriage of the two, as well as the engagement of the mind. Sometimes for visualizations, like guided visualizations, like the vertical alignment, but also seeing how qi can travel through the body. And sometimes you start to feel that there's a famous saying, yi dao, qi dao. That means where the mind or the yi goes, the qi or the energy, the life force follows. And so we start to, it's like what do you call the pinball machine? So your mind goes to this joint, the energy goes to that joint. It tracks it down to the fingers, it goes to the fingers. So we're always tracking the energy through the pathways of the body. And take your time. The great thing about this type of program is that once we finish here, when Shift uploads it to their server, then you'll be able to download it and have it for all the time that you want to practice with. So thanks for that question, Ken. And yes, please don't be concerned about being perfect.
Great, thank you. And this comes from Laura, and it says, this was extremely surprisingly emotional for me, something I didn't expect or anticipate. Is this normal reaction?
Yeah, Laura, it is, I wouldn't say that it's normal or abnormal, but it's very telling. And it means that because there is a lot of lung work that we're doing, even in this beginning portion, that we're helping to relieve some of the grief. So if we've, been in the position of having to be strong for the family or for ourselves, this kind of gentle movement with the breath actually helps in the the release of built up tensions from the body. So it's a very ideal situation, actually. What you'll find as the layers of tension fall away is that you'll start to feel more and more balanced. And once the emotions and sometimes the tears subside, you'll come back into equilibrium, and greater harmony and peace comes into the body. So I think that's actually a really wonderful thing that's happened, Laura. And if it's happened for anyone else, that's wonderful. Take a drink of water, help the fluids continue to move. When there's emotional bottleneck anywhere, your body actually needs more warm fluids to continue the flow through all the channels, okay, and organs. So thank you for sharing that, Laura.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, this comes from Deborah, and it says, "Hi Daisy, thank you, lovely. Would you adjust the stomach massage according to whether someone has constipation versus loose bowels?"
Deborah, it is adjustable. Because we're doing a lot of cleansing in this one, I focused, especially this first lesson, on clearing the stomach channel, especially the lower abdomen. So normally we'll do both directions. So we'll do 9 circles in one direction from up the right and down the left, which helps with elimination. If you are having the opposite condition, where you might be overflowing and that nervous tension is actually, over releasing, then you would do in the opposite direction, which is up the left side and then down the right side. Okay, so it doesn't stop you from having diarrhea, for instance. What it does is it allows you to get to a water source so that you can replenish and not get dehydrated. But at this time, it's very important to actually release. So in this rejuvenation program, we're actually supporting the release of blocked energy. Things will start to equalize over time. But if, as I said, if you have a profound problem of dehydration in the body, then you can do a few circles the opposite direction just to balance. Okay, so thank you. I hope that's helpful.
And Heidi's asking if you could say a little bit more about the Wei Qi field.
Okay, Heidi. The Wei Qi field, it's spelled W-E-I, and the Qi, Q-I or C-H-I, depends on if someone's pronouncing it phonetically. The Wei Qi field is an emanation that comes from the organs as well, including the skin. And so it's a field of protection around the body. Under Kirlian photography, a special camera that was devised by a Russian gentleman, a couple, that field is viewable, and some people can see it. I see it around trees and mountains, sometimes horses, of course. If I'm really paying attention when I'm looking at a human being, then I can see this field. And so it's not always viewable to many people, but you can train to see it. And the animals often see it because it's instinctual, but that Qi field creates a kind of buffer around the body. And when someone is healthy and they're getting proper nutrition and taking in good air and drinking enough water, healthy fluids, then the body starts to naturally have this field around it. When it's inflamed, however, the field starts to have spikes. And so you might have this kind of frenetic, static kind of energy. And you can feel it. There was one time when I was working on a gentleman who had a liver operation. He had liver cancer, and they had to operate on him a number of times, so they didn't close him up. You could actually see these organs. And so I was helping to clear the field, and as my hands passed over the field of his organs, there was a lot of pulsing, pretty intense energy coming through my palms. So when you start to clear the field, even when you're doing the showering qi, if you do it very slowly, you'll start to feel balance, or certain areas might be empty, certain other parts might be very full. And what we are aiming for is the kind of even buffer, even field around the body. And at the very beginning, you may or may not feel it at the very start. But over time, as your hands become more sensitive, you might start to feel a kind of magnetic field around the body. And so all we're doing when our hands are passing through the field is clearing and releasing any of the stagnations downwards and outwards. Yeah. And we're using also the earth and the sky energy to support us in that. So we're not alone. We have this incredible magnetic field from below, which is helping to, you could say, burn up the old energy or the spent energy and recycle it, so it doesn't hurt the earth, but it's recycled. It comes up as fresh energy from through the layers of the earth. And in the heavens, in the sky, or you could say even further in the cosmos, the perception and understanding is that we are part of this macrocosm. We're a microcosm within our own bodies, but we are part of the greater whole. And so rather than just depending on ourselves, we're going to merge with the greater forces of the earth and sky so that we can replenish from this infinite source. Yeah. And then the field starts to be, the Wei Qi field starts to be impacted. And what is amazing, I mentioned to you earlier about the lead energy. When you're in balance, when you yourself are in balance, you become automatically a lead energy. And it's both humble and yet powerful. So it's not leading with arrogance, it's leading with simplicity. Yeah, you can look someone in the eyes. You can speak your truth. Yeah, you can speak with dignity and represent yourself. Yeah, and when that happens within your body, you become a balance for other people around you that may be out of balance. So you're not triggered by, impingements on your field. The Wei Qi field, if it's substantive enough, it will start to create its own protection and proper boundaries. Yeah, and so that's why we need this field to be substantial enough that it can do its work for you. Before the pathogens touch your skin, it meets the field. And from the field, you can reflect some of that. And the skin has its own protection as well. That's why with this virus that has been making its rounds, why it doesn't live on the surface of the skin, or it doesn't penetrate the skin, but it penetrates the mucous membranes. That's where we have to be mindful not to touch our eyes or nose or our mouth. Yeah. So these are the ways that we protect ourselves, not just the physical and internal, but also the Wei Qi field. Okay, so hope that's helpful, Heidi.
Beautiful. So we'll go to Nikki.
Hi.
It's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you.
I had an auto accident 7 years ago, and so from that, I have 2 injuries that have, I guess I'll say, persevered.
Yeah.
And they seem to be related. I would say my left knee and my right shoulder. Okay.
Okay.
And so when we're doing, particularly, I want to make sure that my kidneys are getting adequate work when we're doing this. But because of my shoulder, what I'm finding, and actually that's why I'm doing this, is to try to lubricate and, maximize my flexibility and these joints, if you will, especially the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing the kidney, I can't turn the arm so that my hand is cupping. So I was found that I was using the back of my hand, and I just wanted you to address that until I maybe have more mobility, if that's okay, or how I should do that.
Nikki. That's fine, because you are listening to your body, to respecting the injury, and also talking to the body. Slow everything down, and also learn to speak with the body and ask it, are you ready to feel? Can you feel the kidneys? Can you turn just a degree more without tension? And you can meet that line, but don't go beyond at the beginning. Just ask if it's ready. So this kind of psychology of talking to the body reignites the potential in the body. And so that's one thing that can be done with kidneys, because, and especially if there's been an injury where it's, makes it difficult to turn and get stimulation in the kidneys. I always recommend that if the kidneys have been impaired, which can create the emotion of fear in the body, highly recommend banding the kidney area, the torso, lower torso, with a scarf or a kidney warmer, which is just a piece of cloth tube, like a tube top that you can tell how old I am when I say the tube tops from the 70s. Anyway, use that tube, jump into it feet first, and place it around the lower section of your body. So make sure that the kidneys stay warm. And that kind of cradling of the kidneys is like swaddling the kidneys, swaddling the lower dantian with warmth, will also help to alleviate some of the fear or downgrade any of that type of emotion. Okay, Nikki? So that's my recommendation. And otherwise, just listen and see, if you do it repeatedly but gently, whether you actually increase your range of motion over time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Daisy.
Hi, Ali. Hi, Ali. I recognize your voice.
I went through a very, very scary period with my heart. So to get better, I increased my meditations, my Qigong, and I just get so high doing it. Can you overdo it?
Overdo meditation?
In the Qigong, because it's like I don't want to stop because it feels so good.
Well, if you're going to get addicted to anything, Ali, it's good to get addicted to Qigong. And feeling good, like the fact that you feel good in your body is so important, especially after the injuries that you've sustained. If all we have is time on our hands, it's good. It's a good practice. If we're not able to get outdoors and get some sunshine, which, however, I do recommend that you go outside and get some vitamin D, 10 to 15 minutes a day with exposed skin, as much exposed skin as you're willing to expose, and absorb the vitamin D, let it convert in the body. So don't wash it off within the first 20 minutes. Important to remember. And then do more practice. If it brings you joy, then it's a good thing. If it makes you too high and you're flying, maybe we could level that down with a showering chi movement. But it's good. It's needed.
I feel like I'm flying.
Oh, you feel confined?
Flying. I feel like
flying.
Yeah, I don't want to get addicted.
Well, flying is good, but we humans have to land. That's why, when there's a lot of yang qi and you're flying high, it is also good to land. Every bird has to come home to itself in its tree, in its body, before it can take off again. So my recommendation might be use the showering chi to settle the body and come back home into the center of the body.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Allie. Great to see you again.
Here.
And
Great.
is Thomas back?
No, I don't have a microphone for Thomas yet. So Thomas,
sorry.
you're also welcome to write your question in so I could read that aloud. So we'll go, this question came in from the course homepage, and it says from Diana, I've been doing reverse breathing and have found it difficult to isolate the pelvic floor. I seem to clench my stomach muscles. I tried to do it very gently, focusing on the pelvic floor. Could you advise? Thanks so much.
Okay. The reverse breathing is the opposite of abdominal. And so where the chest fills up and the belly button and the perineum kind of, draw inwards. Yeah. And so it's this opposite pumping. My advice about the clenching, and it is really a practice not to clench. It's such a subtle movement. And in fact, you shouldn't be able to see, if I was to step back, for instance, and I'll just stand here. I don't know that you can see actually, but I'll show you. If someone is clenching, it's like, I don't know if you can see. If I'm clenching, my butt cheeks just like draw inwards, and the motion internally is kind of like a, like so. Maybe I'm being over descriptive, but when you're doing it properly, it is the most subtle thing. So this is, down at the perineum, right? And it's just the gentlest rising and releasing. So you get to exercise that by locating those muscles. It's not here like that. It's just here. Yeah. It's like the waves come up and they gently release. Yeah. Come up, gentle hold, and release. And what that also does is it starts to train the bladder. Often for women especially, you hear about this bladder issue that starts to happen as women. It can happen to women as they get older. And the Western medical model is to put in a net. And that net can have problems as well because it can cause infection. It can actually potentially weaken your bladder over time. And so that gentle movement over time, you almost have to remind your body every time you feel it clenching, tell it to relax. Breathe it out. And I might even recommend that not to focus on the breathing and just to focus on the action, the physical action at the very beginning, until the body knows what that movement is. And then see if it releases. So it's not some people make the mistake of holding it, kind of bound up, and they they then cause constriction and condensed energy in areas that they don't want. Yeah, because in other systems they might have you lock the area. We're working with subtle energy, and subtle energy means that the mind, which is this incredible organ, the brain, can actually send signals and remind the body that it's okay. It's okay to let go. It's okay to do things gently, and find your equilibrium through that kind of practice instead. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. And you can report back on the Facebook page or private message me and let me know how that goes for you. Okay, thank you for that question.
So Sarah's asking if there are any types of warm tea you recommend us to make in advance before our classes here together. Maybe any certain herbs that might be best before practice.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I drink regularly in my flask. I drink 2 of these a day, actually, so I will give you that recipe. I was going to give it further down the road, but since you're asking, I will give you that recipe. It's actually an Ayurvedic tea, and it's 1 teaspoon each of organic coriander seed, organic fennel seed, and organic cumin. And you bring at least a liter of water to boil, a big pot of water to boil, and then you put in those 3 seeds. If you have digestive issues, you can put in also occasionally put in a half teaspoon or so of fenugreek seeds. And you bring it to a boil, and then you turn it down to simmer for about 10 minutes and strain it through a sieve. And then just pour it into a thermos and drink it throughout the day. So I use that regularly. It's a very gentle detox tea, actually. For those that can handle ginger, ginger is maybe not so good if you have wounds or also if you have inflammation. Some people don't respond to ginger very well if they are more yang or overheated, right? So I can tolerate it quite well, and my body loves it. So I make a tea. I just sliver the, not sliver, but I'll slice ginger root, fresh ginger root, and I'll put like a thumbnail's piece into boiling water, and let it just steep in the boiled water. And that's another thermos. And that is helpful for digestion, and also good for many who are feeling like they've got too much cold or damp in the body, too much wind in the body. Yeah. So this is a way to remove some of those pathogens, and you can alternate between those 2 teas. Most people can do that quite safely. Just observe your response to it. So I always ask, even with food, you have to know your own body. And so when you drink something or eat something, taste it and find what your body responds to, how your body responds to it. And that will teach you a lot. But that first tea I told you about is actually quite healthy for everyone. And I do it every day. Boil it in the morning, and then I pour it into 2 small thermoses and drink it throughout the day. Okay.
Thank you so much. So great. We'll go to Barbara Dean.
Nice to see you again.
Hi, Daisy. Excuse me. I'm very happy to see you again, and I'm very happy to be in this class. It was wonderful. I noticed that when we were touching the lungs and the lung points, that I was feeling emotion there. And so you're saying that's grief?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
When you think about it, the air coming through your nose has to pass through into the lungs. And so if there, occasionally it can be emotional, just not being able to express fully what is going on. It can be whatever it is, but the unexpressed sadness. And so when you do get emotional, that's actually a good sign, because it's releasing out of the inside of the body, coming to the surface to be expelled and released, which is much, much healthier than keeping it tamped down inside the body. Yeah. So
what about the coughing? Coughing.
coughing, it depends why you're coughing. You know, clearing of the throat can be a good thing. Of course, you know, during this time, everyone is watching for these signs. What's happening when I'm coughing? You know, and you start to create a story in your head about, oh, do I have this? Or is it just my body's natural response? Maybe there's pollen in the air because it's springtime now. And so
it does happen in the spring.
yes.
Yeah.
And so the body is naturally trying to expel, you know, the pathogens that are coming in. It's springtime in Puerto Rico, and I notice that there's a tree that when the pollen is flying, I get reactive and I start coughing as well. It's a natural bodily response to clear. And because it doesn't want it in your lungs or in your body to compromise the lungs, then it will come out through the throat. Right? So that's one of the pathways that pathogens can come out, which is why everyone is recommended when you go outside to shop or do whatever you're going to do outside, that you wear a mask. Yeah. And it's not just those that are sick, but in Asia, you might have noticed that in South Korea, in China, everyone was masked, because not only did it prevent them from touching their face and eyes, although you might touch your eyes, try not to, but you don't want the virus to enter those pathways. And it's a safeguard. I will say that I've heard of women using their their old bras and making a mask out of their old bras if they didn't have the mask that they needed. You have to get creative, and you have to enjoy sewing. They would put a coffee filter that had lemon juice or some sort of citric acid, and create a barrier within the bra over the face. And so that might be a fun sewing project if anyone's up for sewing.
Is there anything that we can do with Qigong to help with throat issues and with clearing the lungs?
You know, Barbara, that striking, the massaging that I was doing, you know, over the thymus, which also stimulates the natural killer cells and immune cells, but also you can massage over the lung points, and the striking helps to break up the phlegm. Yeah, and so one of the very key things is that when the phlegm starts to get very heavy and dense, it can't be coughed out. So the striking, you know, on these points at the chest and the lungs is very critical. Some people, if you need a little support in behind, you can have someone cup the back of your lungs as well. So that's one thing that can be done. For coughing, if you're coughing incessantly, I'm not wearing a shirt that you can really see, but there's the bony protuberance right at the clavicle, and you drop down. I'm sorry, I can't show you with what I'm wearing, but you drop down to where the little valley, these two dips are, and it's actually a kidney point. So you would massage those points very gently, and it can help you stop coughing. Yeah, so just gently. If you nail it and press too hard, it might cause you to cough. But you want to just gently follow that bony part, the high point of it, and drop down to where the little divot is, and just gently massage. It can be one finger, it can be two, and just gently massage that point to stop yourself from coughing incessantly. Yeah. Remember to keep the lower dantian area warm. That also is helpful to protect also the Wei Qi field, and to as I said, downgrade the emotion of fear in the body. Okay, so thank you. Take good care out there. And as I say, stay home, stay safe, and do your Qigong.